Hi, this is Hippie Bob again to discuss the end of times, December 21st, 2012, part 2. Originally we discussed in part 1 the Mayan civilization and their calendar, its accuracy, its final day, which we all know of as December 12th, 2012. I hope you like my pineapples. Today, we're going to discuss Nostradamous, who lived in the early 1500s, aka early 16th century. And he was a poet, writer, / modern day prophet, if you will, who wrote in quatrains, which I thought maybe were like, 4 trains, choo-choo trains going on, but they're not. They're actually 4 verses, poetic verses, I guess, and in his case, prophetic poetic verses. Although some say that although he called for some events cryptically, major events, Hitler, 9/11, those type of major events. He was what they refer to, or some refer to, a retroactive clairvoyant prophet, meaning that somehow he was very accurate if we look back in history and determine where those prophecies fit. And because his prophecies were biblically based, they're inherently going to have some Bible support. So he used metaphorical and cryptic language throughout these quatrains. And primarily he spoke cryptically in order to avoid personal prosecution. At the time, in the 1500s, if he spoke clearly and boldly, I suppose he could have lost his head. He could have been beheaded because of the things that he said. But given the fact that he spoke cryptically, we now have the expertise, if you will, to measure and determine what exactly he was trying to say. And that's why we have this ability to take a quatrain and fit it into history somewhere. Let me give you an example of that. And I'm going to have to read this for you. Here's one of the quatrains. Come the millennium, month 12. In the home of greatest power, the village idiot will come forth to be acclaimed the leader. Now, you're not going to believe this, but our 43rd president, George W. Bush, was tagged the village idiot due to this quatrain. Personally, there's a lot of politicians, certainly world leaders, that would qualify here, I think. So credibility, probably not. This ties in almost directly with horoscopes, in that Nostradamus was kind of astrological. He did horoscopes for the wealthy folks, and that pretty much saved him from losing his head. Horoscopes, like the quatrains, my opinion, are generic speak. And generic speak can capture bits and pieces of what's going on in your life, certainly. But is it really an innocent game for the curious, or is it potentially dangerous? In that, our minds can't take a joke. The subconscious mind cannot take a joke. If your horoscope proclaims your ill health, for example, and you subscribe to that, probably not a good thing. Again, a horoscope like Nostradamous speaks in generalities. So we can fit some of which is told to us on a daily basis if you check this horoscope thing out every day, how it might fit into our life. For example, today for me is a 7, whatever that is. 10 being the best, 1 being the worst, I guess. 7 means I'm still kicking. And it's a 7, making it a pretty good day because I am going to hear from someone in my past. Oh goody, because guess what? The here and now just passed a second ago. The present just left your life. So, if the phone rings, as I am speaking to you now, that could be someone from my past. Seconds ago, what have you, but certainly right, my past. So, giving the slight inefficiencies of these projections, whether it's a 6,000-year-old calendar or whether it's a horoscope, where will you be on December 21st, 2012? I will be talking to children about Hippie Bob tales, which are children's books that I write, at your local bookstore. And I hope to see you there. If you reviewed my first presentation on the end of times, you will understand that I'm looking for 1 million clips or more, because each click for me is a kiss for God, because I want you and I implore you that at the end of this video you would blow God a kiss. One small point I'd like to present to you, brothers and sisters, is that 78% of the U.S. population is supposedly Christian. That means that 22%, give or take a couple of Christians, are trying to do things like kick God out of school. And by the way, he's not being kicked out for poor grades. It's another issue. They don't want us to pray to God in the school. They're also looking to replace his name in the Pledge of Allegiance. Why anyone would want to pledge to a government in the absence of God, I'm clueless on that one. Frankly, governments without God, I don't trust them, truth be told. And there's also a calling to remove in God we trust from our currency. Now, we all know the difficult economic times that we currently face. The continued erosion of the value of the US dollar. And now we want, or some want, to remove in God we trust from the currency. And frankly, that's about the only value left to that piece of paper. So, December 21st, 2012, my prediction is that on the 25th of that particular year, we will again celebrate the birth of Christ for the 2047th time. Yes, not 2012 times, because Jesus lived 33 years. He was among us. So, plan on another birthday for Christ that year. If you want to not risk it, then shop a little later, 22nd, 23rd, whatever. If you're right, you might save some money. Simple to remember him. Just remember to blow kisses to God. God bless you. God loves you. Good night.